When you hear the word big in connection with prehistoric times, you probably think of giant dinosaurs like the T.Rex or the Brachiosaurus. But what if I told you that dinosaurs weren't the only ones who grew to enormous sizes? Have you ever heard of tigers that grew twice as big as the modern Siberian tiger? Or of bears that grew 4 to 5 times as heavy as modern brown bears? I know it's hard to believe, but these animals really existed. Let's start this journey with the biggest tiger that ever existed, the Ngandong Tiger. The world of big cats has always captivated the human imagination. From the mighty lion reigning over the African savanna to the stealthy leopards slinking through the shadows of dense jungles, these apex predators have inspired awe and fear in equal measure. But among these fearsome felines, none have embodied the raw power and size of the tiger. Tigers, the largest of the big cats, have always held a special place in the animal kingdom. Their strength, agility, and sheer majesty set them apart. But today, we dive deeper into history to meet the king of all tigers. Imagine a creature that dwarfed the largest Siberian tiger, that was faster, stronger, and more fearsome than any big cat alive today. This is the Ngandong Tiger, the largest tiger that ever walked the earth. To truly appreciate the Ngandong Tiger, we need to understand the extraordinary lineage it belonged to, the big cats, or more specifically, the Panthera genus. These majestic creatures are the ultimate hunters. Among them, tigers are the largest and most powerful. Modern tigers, like the Bengal and Siberian tigers, are formidable predators. The Bengal tiger can weigh up to 230 kilograms and measure up to 3 meters from head to tail, making it one of the most feared predators in the wild. But, as incredible as these modern tigers are, they pale in comparison to their prehistoric relative, the Ngandong Tiger. Living around 100,000 years ago in what is now Southeast Asia, this massive predator ruled the forests and plains of ancient Java, Indonesia. It wasn't just big, it was colossal. Standing around 4 meters in length from head to tail and weighing close to 450 kilograms, the Ngandong Tiger was nearly double the size of the Bengal tigers we see today. Imagine facing off against a creature of that magnitude. It was a tiger in every sense of the word, but on a scale so grand it's hard to fathom. Our journey into the past begins with the discovery of ancient fossils. In the 1930s, paleontologists working along the Solo River in the Ngandong region of Java uncovered something remarkable, a set of bones that didn't belong to any ordinary predator. These fossils, later identified as belonging to the largest tiger species ever, were key to understanding this long-extinct giant. The fossils told a story of an animal that was not only larger but also more robust than any tiger known today. Its skull was thicker, its jaw more powerful. What these fossils revealed was not just the sheer size of the Ngandong tiger, but also its dominance during the Pleistocene epoch. The Ngandong tiger lived during a time when Southeast Asia was home to an incredible array of megafauna, giant animals that roamed the forests and plains. Elephants, rhinoceroses, water buffalo, and deer populated the landscape, and the Ngandong tiger ruled as their apex predator. But it wasn't just the size of its prey that defined the Ngandong tiger's role in the ecosystem. It was its adaptability. Fossil evidence suggests that this tiger was well equipped to hunt a variety of animals, from large herbivores to smaller, more agile prey. But what made the Ngandong tiger such a formidable predator? For starters, its size alone was intimidating. At over 4 meters in length from head to tail and standing taller at the shoulder than today's tigers, this animal was a giant in every sense. But its size wasn't its only advantage. The Ngandong tiger had proportionally longer legs than modern tigers, suggesting it was built for speed. While modern tigers are known for their stealth and ambush tactics, This tiger may have been capable of running faster over short distances, making it an even more efficient hunter in open habitats like grasslands or sparse woodlands. Its skull was larger and thicker than that of modern tigers, and its jaws packed an incredible punch. The teeth were larger too, with long, powerful canines designed to slice through the flesh of large prey. This wasn't a cat that relied on finesse. It used brute force to bring down its targets, overpowering animals that would be too dangerous or too large for today's tigers. Comparing its skull to a Bengal tiger's, it becomes clear that the Ngandong tiger was in a class of its own. Larger, stronger, and faster, it was an apex predator that had adapted perfectly to dominate its environment. But even a predator as massive and powerful as the Ngandong tiger had competition. The Pleistocene epoch was a time of great evolutionary experimentation. It wasn't the only carnivore prowling the ancient jungles of Southeast Asia. Saber-toothed cats like Meganterion also roamed the land, as did massive hyenas capable of scavenging or even hunting large prey. The Ngandong tiger would have had to contend with these formidable adversaries. These weren't just small scuffles. The fight for survival was intense, as food was scarce at times. In such a competitive environment, the Ngandong tiger's sheer size and power gave it an advantage, but it wasn't invincible. Saber-toothed cats had their own set of deadly tools, and competition for the same prey meant that every hunt carried risks. And on top of that, another competitor was beginning to emerge, one that would forever alter the course of history. Early humans, equipped with primitive tools and weapons, were starting to spread across Southeast Asia during the late Pleistocene. Unlike other prey, humans were intelligent, organized, and increasingly dangerous to the Ngandong tiger. As humans learned to hunt large game, they too became competitors, not just for prey but for territory. So, if the Ngandong tiger was so well adapted, why did it disappear? The answer lies in a combination of factors, none more significant than climate change. As the Pleistocene epoch drew to a close, the Earth's climate began to shift dramatically. Ice ages came and went, altering habitats and shrinking the range of many species. For a predator as large as the Ngandong tiger, which relied on an abundance of large prey, these environmental changes spelled disaster. The large herbivores that once roamed the land began to disappear, and with them went the Ngandong tiger's primary food sources. As the environment changed, so did the balance of power in the ecosystem. Humans, who were now more organized and technologically advanced, began to have a profound impact on the landscape. With fire, weapons, and a growing population, humans not only competed with the Ngandong tiger for food, but actively hunted it, seeing this massive predator as both a threat and a resource. By the end of the Pleistocene, around 10 to 12,000 years ago, the combination of climate change, habitat loss, and increased human activity had driven the Ngandong tiger to extinction. It was the end of an era, a giant felled not by a single event, but by a gradual series of pressures that even the largest tiger in history couldn't withstand. Though the Ngandong tiger no longer roams the forests of Southeast Asia, its legacy is preserved in the fossil record and in the story of the Earth's prehistoric past. It was a giant, a ruler in its time, but even giants can fall. Today, its modern relatives, the Bengal, Siberian, and Sumatran tigers, are a reminder of the incredible evolutionary history that shaped the world of big cats. And at least as legendary as the Ngandong tiger was Arctotherium Angustidens, the largest bear that ever existed. Imagine a bear so massive that it dwarfs even the largest grizzly bears we see today. This creature isn't a product of mythology or a storybook. It's a real animal that once roamed the earth during the Pleistocene epoch, a period spanning from approximately 1.2 million to 500,000 years ago. Meet Arctotherium Angustidens, the South American short-faced bear, and the largest bear known to have ever existed. This bear was a true giant of the animal kingdom. Fossil evidence has allowed scientists to estimate its size and weight with remarkable accuracy. This bear towered over most modern-day animals and early humans of the time. When it comes to weight, estimates suggest that Arctotherium Angustidens could have reached twice the weight of the largest polar bears, which are the heaviest bears alive today. The sheer size of this bear places it among the largest terrestrial carnivores that have ever lived. The story of Arctotherium Angustidens begins with the discovery of remarkable fossil evidence that has captivated paleontologists and reshaped our understanding of prehistoric life. Among these fossils, one find stands out as particularly significant: a massive humerus bone that has become the cornerstone in estimating the size and stature of this colossal bear. The discovery of Arctotherium Angustidens fossils primarily took place in Argentina, a region rich in Pleistocene-era deposits. The most critical fossil find, a humerus or upper arm bone, was unearthed in the Buenos Aires province, providing scientists with an extraordinary glimpse into the size and strength of this ancient bear. This humerus, when analyzed, measured nearly 1.5 meters in length, an unprecedented size for a bear, and significantly larger than any known modern bear species. The size of this humerus bone alone allowed paleontologists to estimate the overall dimensions of Arctotherium Angustidens. By comparing the proportions of the humerus with those of modern bears, scientists could extrapolate the probable size and weight of the animal. This comparison is a common practice in paleontology, where the dimensions of known living animals are used as a reference to understand the scale of extinct species. In the case of Arctotherium Angustidens, these comparisons led to the estimation that the bear could have weighed up to 1,600 kilograms and stood around 3.4 meters tall when on its hind legs. But the humerus wasn't the only fossil evidence that contributed to the identification of Arctotherium Angustidens. Other skeletal remains, including fragments of the skull, jawbones, and other limb bones, have been found in the same and nearby regions. These fossils provided additional details about the bear's physical structure, such as its short, broad snout, a characteristic trait of the short-faced bears, and its robust limbs, which suggest it was built for power rather than speed. The process of identifying Arctotherium Angustidens involved careful analysis and comparison with other species in the bear family, particularly those in the genus Arctodus, which includes the North American short-faced bears. Paleontologists noted similarities in bone structure, but also recognized the distinct differences that warranted classification into a separate genus, Arctotherium. The genus name itself reflects its origins. Arctotherium, meaning bear beast, and Angustidens, referring to the relatively narrow teeth compared to its North American relatives. This bear was an imposing figure, not just because of its sheer size, but also due to its unique physical characteristics that set it apart from other bears. These features, its short face, powerful limbs, and robust body, were not just incidental traits, but likely crucial adaptations that helped this giant bear thrive as a dominant predator in its environment. One of the most distinctive features of Arctotherium Angustidens was its short face, a trait it shared with other members of the short-faced bear family. The bear's skull was broad and had a shortened snout, giving it a more compact facial structure compared to modern bears. This short face was likely an adaptation that enhanced its bite force, allowing Arctotherium to crush bones and consume tough, fibrous plant material or large prey. A stronger bite would have been advantageous in a Pleistocene ecosystem where large, thick-skinned herbivores like giant ground sloths and glyptodons were potential prey. This skull structure would have made it easier for Arctotherium to deliver powerful bites, break open bones to access marrow, and process a varied diet that could include both flesh and plants. The limbs of Arctotherium Angustidens were incredibly powerful, with large, robust bones that supported its massive frame. These limbs were likely adapted for strength rather than speed, making the bear well-suited for grappling with large prey or scavenging carcasses from other predators. The strong forelimbs, in particular, would have been useful for pulling down large animals or manipulating heavy objects. In a time when megafauna roamed the land, having the physical strength to overpower or fend off other large predators would have given Arctotherium a significant advantage. The bear's hind limbs, equally robust, supported its ability to stand on its hind legs, which not only made it appear more intimidating, but also allowed it to reach higher into trees for food or scan its environment for threats or opportunities. Standing upright, Arctotherium Angustidens could have used its sheer size to assert dominance over other predators and secure the best feeding grounds. Overall, the body was built for power and endurance. Its large, barrel-shaped torso housed strong muscles that would have supported its massive weight and provided the stamina needed for long periods of activity, whether hunting, foraging, or patrolling its territory. The bear's body was likely covered in thick fur, helping it withstand the cooler climates of the Pleistocene, although the exact nature of its fur is not well documented. This robust body structure also suggests that Arctotherium was an omnivorous generalist, capable of adapting its diet to whatever was available. While it certainly had the physical prowess to take down large prey, it may have also foraged for plants, roots, and fruits, much like modern bears do today. This dietary flexibility would have been crucial in an environment where food sources could vary dramatically with the seasons and climatic changes. The combination of a powerful bite, strong limbs, and a robust body made Arctotherium Angustidens an apex predator of its time. With its massive size and formidable physical characteristics, it likely occupied a top-tier position in the Pleistocene food web of South America. The Pleistocene epoch in South America was home to an array of large herbivores that would have been potential prey for Arctotherium Angustidens. Among these were giant ground sloths, glyptodonts, large armored mammals similar to armadillos, and toxodonts, large hippopotamus-like herbivores. These animals, many of which were slow-moving or relatively defenseless against a predator of Arctotherium's size, would have been prime targets for this massive bear. While it's likely that Arctotherium could have taken down large prey, it may have also engaged in scavenging, particularly when fresh kills made by other predators were available. Given its size, this bear could have easily intimidated or displaced other carnivores, such as saber-toothed cats or large flightless predatory birds from their kills. As one of the largest terrestrial carnivores of its time, Arctotherium Angustidens likely played a crucial role in shaping the Pleistocene ecosystems of South America. By preying on large herbivores, it would have helped regulate the populations of these species, preventing any one species from becoming too dominant. This predatory pressure would have maintained a balance in the ecosystem, promoting biodiversity by allowing a range of species to coexist. Moreover, Arctotherium's role as a scavenger would have contributed to the cycling of nutrients in its environment. By consuming carcasses left by other predators, the bear would have helped to break down and recycle organic matter, returning essential nutrients to the soil and supporting plant growth. The extinction of Arctotherium marks the end of an era dominated by some of the most formidable terrestrial predators the world has ever seen. While the exact reasons for the extinction of this giant bear are still debated among scientists, a combination of factors likely contributed to its disappearance from the Pleistocene landscapes of South America. One of the most significant factors contributing to the extinction of Arctotherium was the dramatic climate change that occurred towards the end of the Pleistocene epoch, around 12,000 years ago. This period, known as the last glacial maximum, was characterized by significant warming that led to the melting of ice sheets and the retreat of glaciers. As the climate warmed, the ecosystems that Arctotherium and other megafauna had adapted to began to change rapidly. The vast grasslands and open woodlands that had supported large herbivores and, in turn, predators like Arctotherium started to shrink. These changes led to a reduction in the populations of large prey animals, which were essential for the survival of such a large predator. With its primary food sources dwindling, Arctotherium would have faced increasing difficulty in finding enough sustenance to support its enormous body. As the environment changed, this bear likely faced intensified competition from other predators. The arrival of humans in South America added a new, formidable competitor to the mix. Early humans were skilled hunters, capable of taking down large prey with advanced tools and coordinated hunting strategies. They not only competed directly with Arctotherium for the same prey, but may have also hunted the bear itself, further pressuring its population. Additionally, other large predators, such as saber-toothed cats and possibly even packs of dire wolves, may have competed with Arctotherium for the remaining prey. These predators, potentially better adapted to the changing conditions, could have outcompeted the giant bear. Although Arctotherium Angustidens eventually went extinct, its legacy lives on through the fossil records that have been uncovered over the years. These fossils have provided invaluable insights into the life and times of one of the largest bears to have ever walked the earth. They help scientists piece together the ecological dynamics of the Pleistocene, offering a glimpse into a world where giant predators like Arctotherium played crucial roles in their ecosystems. The study of Arctotherium and other megafauna from this period also highlights the profound impact that climate change and human activities can have on large species. The extinction of such a formidable predator underscores the fragility of even the most powerful creatures when faced with rapid environmental changes and increasing competition. Today, the fossilized remains of Arctotherium continue to inspire awe and curiosity, reminding us of the incredible diversity of life that once existed on our planet. This bear was truly a beast, but it's just one of many terrifying creatures that roamed our planet in the past. Let us now take a step back from the terrestrial animals and take a closer look at an animal that lived in water, the largest suspected crocodile of all time, Purussaurus. Imagine a crocodile so massive that it dominated the ancient rivers of South America, lurking beneath the waters with unmatched power. This was Purussaurus, a prehistoric titan that lived around 8 million years ago during the Miocene epoch. It roamed the swamps and waterways of what is now the Amazon basin, preying on anything that ventured too close to the water's edge. With its enormous jaws and teeth, Purussaurus was a fearsome predator, capable of taking down large mammals and other formidable creatures of its time. But just how big was this ancient giant? Purussaurus is often considered one of the largest crocodilians to have ever lived, with some estimates suggesting it could reach up to 13 meters in length. Its massive size and powerful build make it a true prehistoric giant. However, there is still some debate among paleontologists about whether Purussaurus was indeed larger than Sarcosuchus imperator, another giant crocodilian from the Cretaceous period. While both were undoubtedly massive, the exact size comparisons remain uncertain due to the limited fossil evidence available for each species. Purussaurus fossils were first brought to light in the mid-20th century, with discoveries primarily concentrated in several key regions of South America. The most notable fossils have been found in countries like Venezuela, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru, areas that were once part of an extensive wetland ecosystem during the Miocene epoch. These regions, particularly the Amazon basin, offer rich paleontological sites that have been crucial in reconstructing the life of this enormous crocodilian. One of the most important fossil sites for Purussaurus is the Urumaco Formation in Venezuela. This area is renowned for its diverse and well-preserved Miocene fauna, providing a detailed snapshot of the ancient ecosystems that once thrived there. In the 1970s and 1980s, paleontologists uncovered several large Purussaurus skulls in this region, including a nearly complete skull that measured over 1.5 meters long. These skulls revealed the creature's formidable size, with teeth and jaw structures indicating a powerful bite, capable of crushing bone and hunting large prey. The Urumaco fossils were some of the first pieces of evidence that suggested just how massive Purussaurus was, placing it among the largest known crocodilians. In the Acre region of Brazil, more Purussaurus remains were discovered, providing further evidence of the crocodile's size and range. This region, once covered by vast swamps and river systems, yielded additional skull fragments, vertebrae, and teeth. These findings contributed to the understanding of Purussaurus's physical characteristics, including its broad, flat skull, which was adapted for ambushing prey in the water. The fossil evidence from Acre suggested that Purussaurus was not just a local phenomenon, but a widespread apex predator throughout the Miocene wetlands of South America. These significant paleontological discoveries, including detailed skulls and jaw fragments, have allowed scientists to estimate that Purussaurus could reach lengths of up to 13 meters and weigh as much as 5 tons or more. To put this in perspective, the largest modern crocodile, the saltwater crocodile, can reach up to 6 meters and weigh up to 1 ton. Purussaurus was at least twice as long and several times heavier, making it a true behemoth of its time. One of the most striking features of Purussaurus was its enormous skull. This skull was not just large, but also very robust and broad, with a wide snout that distinguished it from modern crocodilians. The skull had a distinctive flat and broad shape, suggesting that Purussaurus was a powerful ambush predator capable of delivering crushing bites. Its teeth were large and conical, designed not just for gripping, but also for breaking the bones of large prey. The rear teeth were particularly robust, indicating an ability to exert tremendous force while biting down, likely allowing it to tackle a wide range of prey, including large mammals, giant turtles, and even other crocodilians. The dental structure of Purussaurus suggests a highly specialized predator. Unlike some modern crocodilians that have a more generalized diet, Purussaurus's teeth were adapted for a diet that included large, bulky prey. The sheer size and shape of its teeth indicate it was capable of handling massive and potentially dangerous animals, acting as the apex predator in its ecosystem. Purussaurus's body was built for power. It had a massive, muscular build with limbs and a tail designed to support its bulk in the water. Its tail was likely broad and strong, providing powerful propulsion through the rivers and swamps it inhabited. When compared to other prehistoric crocodilians, Purussaurus stands out for its sheer size and power. For instance, Sarcosuchus imperator, another giant crocodilian that lived during the Cretaceous period, is estimated to have reached lengths of about 12 meters and weighed up to 4 to 5 tons. While Sarcosuchus was also an enormous predator, some paleontologists believe that Purussaurus was slightly larger, though the exact size comparison remains debated due to the fragmentary nature of the fossil record for both species. Purussaurus was an apex predator, capable of preying on a wide range of animals thanks to its enormous size, powerful jaws, and robust teeth. Its diet likely included some of the largest animals of the Miocene epoch in South America. The Miocene epoch in South America was home to an array of large mammals, many of which likely fell prey to Purussaurus. Among these were giant rodents, which could weigh over a ton and provided a substantial meal for such a large predator. Other potential prey included toxodonts, large herbivorous mammals that roamed the wetlands. These creatures, resembling a mix of modern-day hippos and rhinos, would have been prime targets for Purussaurus when they ventured near water sources. Despite its size, Purussaurus would not have ignored the abundant fish species in its environment. The rivers and wetlands of the Miocene were teeming with fish, providing a readily available food source. While it likely favored larger prey, Purussaurus would have also preyed on sizable fish species to supplement its diet, especially when larger mammals were less accessible. Purussaurus coexisted with a variety of reptiles, including other smaller crocodilians and giant turtles. Its powerful bite could easily crush the shells of these giant turtles, making them a viable food source. Additionally, Purussaurus may have occasionally engaged in predatory behavior toward other crocodilians, asserting its dominance as the apex predator in its habitat. Given its massive size and physical characteristics, Purussaurus would have employed hunting strategies similar to those of modern crocodiles, but on a much larger scale. Purussaurus likely relied on ambush tactics to catch its prey. Its environment, with dense vegetation and murky waters, provided the perfect cover. It would have used its broad, flat body to stay submerged, lying in wait for unsuspecting animals to approach the water's edge. When a large mammal, such as a giant rodent or a toxodont, came close enough, Purussaurus would have launched a sudden and powerful attack. Its large jaws and sharp teeth allowed it to grab and crush its prey with devastating force. Modern crocodiles use a technique known as the death roll to subdue and dismember large prey. Given its size and power, Purussaurus might have employed a similar strategy. Once it had latched onto its prey, Purussaurus could have used its immense strength to drag the victim into the water, using its weight to drown it if necessary. It might then perform a death roll to tear apart the prey into manageable pieces, especially for larger animals. While Purussaurus was a formidable hunter, it would have also been an opportunistic feeder. It likely scavenged carcasses when available and took advantage of any easy prey in its territory. Its sheer size and dominance meant it could displace other predators from their kills, allowing it to monopolize food resources. But despite being one of the mightiest predators of its age, Purussaurus, like all creatures, eventually faced its end. The extinction of Purussaurus, like that of many prehistoric megafauna, was likely caused by a combination of environmental changes, habitat shifts, and increased competition. During the Miocene epoch, the world experienced significant climatic shifts. As the Miocene progressed into the Pliocene, around 5.3 million years ago, global climates began to change, becoming cooler and drier. These climatic shifts had profound effects on ecosystems, particularly in tropical regions like South America. Purussaurus thrived in the extensive wetland systems of the Miocene, which provided abundant food and suitable habitat. However, as global temperatures dropped and rainfall patterns shifted, these wetlands began to shrink. Large areas of swamps and floodplains were replaced by more seasonal environments, reducing the suitable habitat for a massive semi-aquatic predator like Purussaurus. The drying and fragmentation of these wetlands would have limited the areas where Purussaurus could hunt, breed, and live. The climate changes also led to shifts in vegetation, with rainforests giving way to more open woodlands and savannas. These changes would have affected the entire food chain, including the herbivorous mammals that Purussaurus preyed upon. As environments changed, the balance of power among predators shifted. During the Miocene, South America had a unique and isolated fauna, but the landscape changed as it began to connect with other landmasses. The gradual formation of the Isthmus of Panama toward the end of the Miocene allowed for the Great American Biotic Interchange, where fauna from North and South America began to mix. This led to the introduction of new predatory species into South America, including large carnivorous mammals like saber-toothed cats and bears. These new predators could have outcompeted Purussaurus for prey, especially in increasingly fragmented and less water-dominated environments. In the changing landscape, smaller and more adaptable crocodilian species may have had an advantage. Unlike the giant Purussaurus, these smaller crocodilians could survive in a wider range of habitats, including those with less water and smaller prey. Purussaurus's massive size meant it required a large amount of food to sustain itself. It likely depended on an abundance of large prey animals. As the climate changed and habitats transformed, the availability of such large prey would have decreased. With a reduced food supply and an inability to adapt to smaller prey due to its size and hunting strategies, Purussaurus would have struggled to survive. Large reptiles like Purussaurus would have had slower reproductive rates compared to smaller, more adaptable animals. They likely took many years to reach maturity and had fewer offspring. In a rapidly changing environment, this slow reproductive rate would have made it difficult for Purussaurus populations to recover from declines or to adapt quickly enough to new conditions. During the late Miocene and into the Pliocene, fluctuations in sea levels could have further altered the habitats where Purussaurus lived. Rising sea levels might have inundated coastal wetlands, while falling sea levels could have led to the drying out of inland waterways. Both scenarios would have significantly affected the large freshwater wetland habitats that Purussaurus relied on, contributing to its decline. The extinction of Purussaurus was likely a gradual process rather than a sudden event. As its environment changed and resources became scarcer, populations of Purussaurus would have slowly declined. Reduced habitats and competition with more adaptable species would have led to a gradual decrease in numbers, eventually resulting in the complete extinction of the species. As we close the chapter on Purussaurus, we are left with a creature that was both terrifying and utterly fascinating, a true titan of the ancient waterways. Its sheer size and power make it one of the most formidable predators to have ever existed, ruling the swamps and rivers of a world long past. Though it has been extinct for millions of years, the legacy of Purussaurus lives on, echoing through time as a reminder of the ancient giants that once dominated our planet. In the shadowy depths of our imaginations, Purussaurus remains, forever one of the most awe-inspiring crocodilians to have ever roamed the earth. Now let's move on to the dire wolf. Imagine a wolf so large and powerful that it would dwarf today's wolves. A predator that once roamed the ancient landscapes of North America during the last ice age, hunting in packs and ruling its territory with unmatched ferocity. This is the dire wolf, the largest and most formidable wolf species ever known. The dire wolf was a true giant, built for strength and power. It was significantly larger and more robust than the wolves we know today, with a body designed to take down some of the biggest prey of its time. Living during the Pleistocene epoch, a period marked by ice ages and the presence of legendary megafauna, the dire wolf thrived alongside creatures like mammoths and saber-toothed cats. As one of the fiercest carnivores of its era, the dire wolf likely sat at the top of the food chain. Its powerful jaws and massive teeth were perfectly suited for hunting large, often dangerous prey. But it wasn't just its size that made it a dominant predator. This wolf likely hunted in packs, using teamwork to bring down animals much larger than itself. The dire wolf's story is one of power, survival, and eventual extinction. Though it was one of the most fearsome predators of its time, the changing world of the Pleistocene eventually proved too much, even for this mighty hunter. Today, the dire wolf remains a symbol of the wild, untamed world that existed before our time, a reminder of a time when giants roamed the earth. In this video, we'll dive deeper into the fascinating world of the dire wolf, exploring what made it such a dominant force and how it ultimately met its end. The discovery of the dire wolf is a fascinating tale of unearthing ancient bones that paint a vivid picture of a powerful predator from a bygone era. Fossil evidence of the dire wolf has been found primarily in North America, with some of the most significant discoveries coming from the famous La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, California. These tar pits have preserved an astonishing number of dire wolf fossils, offering an unparalleled glimpse into the life of this prehistoric carnivore. The La Brea tar pits are particularly noteworthy because they have yielded thousands of dire wolf specimens, more than any other fossil site. The bones found here include nearly complete skeletons, skulls, jaws, and various other skeletal parts. These fossils have allowed scientists to reconstruct the dire wolf's physical appearance with remarkable accuracy. Among the most significant fossil finds are the skulls, which reveal a lot about the dire wolf's predatory nature. The skulls are noticeably larger and more robust than those of modern wolves, with powerful jaws and large teeth designed for crushing bone and tearing through tough hides. These features suggest that the dire wolf was well adapted to taking down large prey and processing the meat and bones for maximum nutrition. Paleontologists have used these fossils to compare the dire wolf with modern wolves, allowing them to estimate its size and strength. By measuring the bones and comparing them to those of living wolves, scientists have been able to determine that the dire wolf was significantly larger and more powerful. The dire wolf was a predator built for power and dominance, with physical characteristics that set it apart from modern wolves and made it a formidable force in its environment. Its robust body, powerful jaws, and large teeth were all key adaptations that allowed it to thrive as a top predator during the Pleistocene epoch. The dire wolf was notably larger and more heavily built than today's grey wolves. It had a stockier frame with a more muscular body that could support its larger size and greater strength. This robust build would have been a significant advantage in taking down large prey, allowing the dire wolf to overpower animals that might have been too difficult for smaller predators to handle. The extra muscle mass also likely contributed to its endurance, enabling it to engage in long chases or wrestle with struggling prey. One of the most distinctive features of the dire wolf was its powerful jaws. The skull of the dire wolf was broader and more heavily built than that of modern wolves, with large muscle attachments that would have given it an incredibly strong bite. Its teeth were also larger and more robust, particularly the carnassials, which are the large shearing teeth at the back of the mouth, and the canine teeth. These adaptations suggest that the dire wolf was well equipped to hunt and consume large, tough prey. The powerful jaws and large teeth would have allowed it to crush bones and tear through thick hides, accessing the nutrient-rich marrow and meat that other predators might leave behind. The physical characteristics of the dire wolf suggest that it was specialized in hunting large herbivores, such as bison, horses, and possibly even young mammoths. Its size and strength would have made it capable of taking down prey much larger than itself, either alone or more likely as part of a coordinated pack. The dire wolf's powerful build would have enabled it to tackle these large animals and bring them down through sheer force. In addition to its physical strength, the dire wolf's relatively short but powerful limbs indicate that it was not built for speed over long distances like some modern wolves. Instead, it was likely a pursuit predator that relied on ambush tactics, working with its pack to wear down prey through teamwork and strategic hunting. Once the prey was caught, the dire wolf's strong jaws and teeth would have ensured that it could quickly dispatch its target and begin feeding. This dominance would have also extended to interactions with other carnivores, dire wolves hunting in packs would have been a formidable challenge for even the largest competitors, such as saber-toothed cats. The dire wolf was a key player in the Pleistocene ecosystems of North America, thriving as a top predator and playing a crucial role in maintaining the balance of these ancient environments. The dire wolf's size and physical adaptations strongly suggest that it primarily hunted large herbivores. The Pleistocene was a time when North America was home to a rich diversity of megafauna, providing ample opportunities for a predator like the dire wolf. These large animals would have provided the high-calorie meals necessary to sustain a predator as large and powerful as the dire wolf. As a top predator, the dire wolf played a vital role in maintaining the balance of the Pleistocene ecosystems. By preying on large herbivores, it helped regulate their populations, preventing any single species from becoming too dominant and overgrazing the landscape. The dire wolf's interactions with other predators were likely complex and competitive. It shared its environment with formidable carnivores such as the saber-toothed cat, the American lion, and the short-faced bear. These large predators would have competed for the same prey, leading to intense rivalries and possibly even direct confrontations over kills. However, the dire wolf's pack-hunting strategy may have given it an edge, allowing it to outcompete solitary predators and secure food for its group. In some cases, the dire wolf may have acted as a kleptoparasite, stealing kills from other predators. Its large size and pack numbers would have made it difficult for other carnivores to defend their kills from a determined group of dire wolves. This behavior would have further established the dire wolf's dominance in the ecosystem, ensuring that it had access to a steady supply of food. The dire wolf was a masterful predator, perfectly adapted to the challenges of its time. Its diet, hunting strategies, and interactions with other species all contributed to its role as a dominant force in the Pleistocene ecosystems of North America. However, the end of the Pleistocene brought dramatic changes that contributed to the dire wolf's extinction. As the climate warmed and the Ice Age ended, many of the large herbivores that the dire wolf relied on for food either migrated, became extinct, or experienced significant population declines. This reduction in prey availability would have made it increasingly difficult for the dire wolf to survive. Human activity may have also played a role. As humans spread across North and South America, they would have competed with dire wolves for prey and possibly hunted them directly. The combination of these factors, climate change, competition with other species, and human impact, likely led to the eventual extinction of the dire wolf around 10,000 years ago. Though it eventually disappeared, the legacy of the dire wolf lives on through the fossil record, offering us a window into a world where giants ruled and survival demanded strength, cooperation, and adaptability. The dire wolf was indeed an absolute legend. But another legend in its own right was the elephant bird, the largest bird that ever existed. Birds are truly unique creatures, boasting an incredible diversity with over 10,000 different species, from the tiny, nimble hummingbird to giant birds like the ostrich and the cassowary. But birds have been around for a long, long time. Some of these ancient birds were true titans, dwarfing even the largest birds we see today. And when compared to us humans, they were still giants. Imagine a bird that could grow up to 3 meters tall. I know that sounds crazy, right? But this bird actually existed. Let me introduce you to the colossal elephant bird. This bird was the largest bird that ever existed. Elephant birds earned their name not because they were as large as elephants, but due to their immense size, which evoked a sense of comparison to the enormity of elephants. These birds were the heaviest and one of the tallest birds to have ever existed. The name elephant bird captures the essence of their massive stature, which was a prominent feature of their identity. Elephant birds belong to the family Apiornithidae, a family of large flightless birds. The family included several species, all of which shared the characteristic of being enormous ground-dwelling birds with robust bodies and vestigial wings, making them incapable of flight. Elephant birds were endemic to Madagascar, an island nation off the southeastern coast of Africa. They thrived in this unique environment, which offered a range of habitats from dense forests to more open scrublands and semi-arid regions. The isolation of Madagascar provided an ideal setting for these birds to evolve without the presence of large terrestrial predators found on continental lands. The timeline of their existence spans a significant period, but they are believed to have become extinct relatively recently in geological terms. The extinction of elephant birds likely occurred around 1,000 years ago, though some estimates suggest they might have survived until as recently as the 17th century. Their decline and eventual extinction coincided with the arrival of humans on Madagascar. Human activities, including hunting and habitat destruction, played a crucial role in the disappearance of these majestic birds. Elephant birds were colossal by avian standards, making them one of the heaviest and tallest birds that ever lived. Among the various species, Epyornis maximus was the largest, standing up to 3 meters tall and weighing as much as 500 kilograms. This size is comparable to that of a small rhinoceros or a large ox, emphasizing their immense presence in the ecosystems they inhabited. The body of an elephant bird was robust and sturdy, designed to support its massive weight. They had strong, thick legs that were well adapted for walking and supporting their large bodies. Despite their size, their legs were relatively short and powerful, making them effective for slow, steady movement rather than speed. Elephant birds had vestigial wings, which means their wings were small and non-functional for flight. Over time, as these birds adapted to a ground-dwelling lifestyle, their wings became reduced in size, losing their utility for flying. The presence of these tiny wings is a common trait among many large flightless birds, including ostriches and emus. The head of an elephant bird was relatively small compared to its massive body. They had a broad, flattened beak, suited for a herbivorous diet. The beak's shape indicates that it was likely used for foraging plant materials such as fruits, leaves, and seeds. Their eyes were positioned to give them a wide field of view, useful for spotting food and potential threats in their environment. While there is limited direct evidence about the exact nature of their plumage, it is generally believed that elephant birds had a covering of feathers. These feathers were likely more similar to those of modern ratites, large flightless birds like ostriches and emus, being coarse and hair-like rather than the smooth, aerodynamic feathers seen in flying birds. This type of feathering would have provided insulation and some protection against the elements. One of the most remarkable aspects of elephant birds was their eggs. They laid the largest eggs of any known bird, with some eggs having a circumference of over 1 meter and a length of up to 34 centimeters. These eggs could weigh up to 10 kilograms, and had a volume around 160 times greater than that of a chicken egg. The sheer size of these eggs underscores the massive size of the adult birds and provides insights into their reproductive biology. However, the size of their eggs suggests that they had a slow reproductive rate, with considerable parental investment in each offspring. They likely nested on the ground, creating large nests where they would lay their massive eggs. The exact incubation period and parental care behaviors remain speculative, but like many large birds, they likely guarded their nests and young vigilantly. Elephant birds were herbivores, which means they primarily consumed plant material. Their diet likely included a variety of fruits, leaves, seeds, and other vegetation found in their natural habitats in Madagascar. The structure of their beaks suggests they were adept at foraging for different types of plant matter. The broad, flattened beak of an elephant bird was well suited for stripping leaves from branches, crushing seeds, and consuming various fruits. The diversity of plant life in Madagascar provided a rich food source for these giant birds. Due to their large size, elephant birds needed to consume substantial amounts of food to sustain themselves. They likely spent a significant portion of their day foraging and eating. Their powerful legs and feet would have enabled them to move through dense vegetation and possibly dig for tubers or roots. Given their inability to fly, they would have relied entirely on ground-based food sources. While there is limited direct evidence about the social behavior of elephant birds, comparisons with other large flightless birds suggest they might have been solitary or lived in small groups. Their social structure likely revolved around their feeding habits and the availability of food resources. During breeding seasons, they might have come together in specific areas for mating and nesting. Their physical adaptations, such as powerful legs, large bodies, and strong beaks, were well suited to their herbivorous diet and ground-dwelling lifestyle. Their size would have deterred many potential predators, while their foraging habits allowed them to exploit a variety of plant resources. Elephant birds were integral components of the ecosystems in Madagascar. They had significant impacts on the environment and the ecological dynamics of the island. Elephant birds, as large herbivores, played a crucial role in seed dispersal. By consuming fruits and other plant materials, they helped in the distribution of seeds across large areas. This process is known as endozoochory, where seeds pass through the digestive system of the bird and are deposited in new locations via their droppings. This not only aided in plant propagation, but also contributed to genetic diversity and the spread of various plant species. The birds' large size meant they could travel considerable distances, thereby affecting a wide range of habitats. Due to their immense size and substantial dietary needs, elephant birds consumed large amounts of vegetation. This foraging behavior helped in maintaining the structure and composition of the plant communities. By grazing on certain plants and not others, they influenced which species thrived and which were kept in check. This selective feeding could prevent any single plant species from dominating the landscape, thereby promoting biodiversity and maintaining a balanced ecosystem. The droppings of elephant birds were rich in nutrients, which played a significant role in enriching the soil. As these birds moved through different parts of their habitat, they distributed these nutrients, enhancing soil fertility and promoting plant growth. This process of nutrient cycling is vital for ecosystem health, as it ensures that essential elements like nitrogen and phosphorus are returned to the soil, supporting the growth of plants and the organisms that depend on them. The physical presence and movement of elephant birds could have contributed to habitat creation and modification. For example, their large bodies and powerful legs could trample dense vegetation, creating clearings that benefited other species. These open spaces would allow sunlight to reach the ground, facilitating the growth of different plant species that required more light. Such habitat modifications could also provide opportunities for other animals to access food and shelter. The ecological niche occupied by elephant birds in Madagascar was unique due to their large size and herbivorous diet. As such, their primary competition was not with other predators, but rather with other herbivores, and later humans. While elephant birds were among the largest herbivores in Madagascar, they shared their habitats with other plant-eating animals. These included various lemurs, such as the now extinct giant lemurs, which also consumed fruits, leaves, and seeds. These lemurs, like the megalodapus and the archaeolemur, were significant herbivores. They would have competed with elephant birds for similar food resources, such as fruits and foliage. However, the different feeding strategies and physical adaptations of lemurs would have reduced direct competition. Large tortoises were also part of Madagascar's ecosystem. These reptiles, like the Aldabra giant tortoise, fed on low-lying vegetation, which could overlap with the diet of elephant birds. The potential predators of elephant birds included the giant fossa, a large carnivorous mammal native to Madagascar, which hunted various animals. While adult elephant birds, due to their size, would have been relatively safe from most predators, their eggs and young birds were vulnerable. The giant fossa, along with other smaller carnivores and scavengers, would have posed a threat to elephant bird chicks and eggs. The arrival of humans in Madagascar around 2,000 years ago introduced a significant competitor and predator for elephant birds. Human activities dramatically altered the ecological balance. Humans hunted elephant birds for their meat and collected their large eggs. Given the size of elephant birds and their slow reproduction rate, overhunting had a significant impact on their populations. The eggs, in particular, provided a substantial amount of food, making them a target for early human settlers. Human agricultural practices led to deforestation and habitat fragmentation, reducing the available territory for elephant birds to forage and breed. With humans came domestic animals and other species that could compete with or prey on elephant birds. For example, pigs and rats introduced by humans could have eaten the eggs and young of elephant birds, adding another layer of pressure on their survival. So we can say that the arrival of humans ultimately led to the extinction of the elephant birds. The extinction of elephant birds serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance in natural systems and the far-reaching consequences of disrupting these balances. Moving on, we got a bird, again. Though not quite as big as the elephant bird, this one was far more terrifying and dangerous. In the eerie shadows of the Cenozoic era, a colossal predator roamed the earth. Towering over its surroundings, with a menacing beak and piercing gaze, this dinosaur struck fear into the hearts of all who crossed its path. Reminiscent of today's ostriches, but infinitely more terrifying, this ancient giant embodied raw power and primal ferocity. Imagine you're strolling through this prehistoric landscape, the air thick with anticipation, when a bone-chilling sound pierces the silence. You whirl around to face your worst nightmare, the terror bird, an apex predator of unparalleled prowess. Brace yourself for a journey into the depths of terror and awe as we uncover the secrets of this prehistoric behemoth. Terror birds were a group of large, flightless predatory birds that existed from the Paleocene to the Pleistocene epochs, spanning approximately 62 million to 1.8 million years ago. They were primarily found in South America, although some species also inhabited parts of North America. Despite being descendants of flying birds, terror birds had greatly reduced wings that were not functional for flight. Instead, their wings likely served as balance and stabilization while running. These birds varied in size depending on the species, but some of the largest terror birds, such as Titanis walleri, stood up to 3 meters tall and weighed around 300 kilograms. Modern-day male ostriches, in comparison, generally reach heights ranging from 2.2 to 2.7 meters and weigh between 63 to 145 kilograms. Terror birds had robust skeletons with large, sturdy legs designed for swift running. Their skulls were large and elongated, with powerful beaks for capturing and dispatching prey. Their primary adaptation for hunting was their large, hooked beaks, which they used to deliver powerful blows to prey. They likely relied on their speed and agility to chase down and ambush prey. Ostriches also have robust skeletons and long, powerful legs adapted for running. However, their skulls are smaller and less specialized for hunting, with a beak adapted for grazing on vegetation. Although ostriches are omnivores, they primarily feed on vegetation. They lack the specialized hunting adaptations seen in terror birds, and instead have strong, muscular legs that they use for running away from predators. So in comparison, both terror birds and ostriches are large birds, but terror birds were generally larger and more robust. Both have sturdy skeletons and powerful legs, but terror birds had larger skulls and more specialized beaks for hunting. Terror birds were apex predators with specialized beaks for hunting, while ostriches are primarily herbivores with adaptations for running and evading predators. Now let's talk more about their origins, as well as their fossil records and evolutionary significance. Terror birds belong to the extinct clade Phorus racidae, which evolved from a lineage of flying birds known as the Cariamiformes during the Paleogene period, around 60 million years ago. The exact ancestry of terror birds is still a subject of debate among paleontologists. However, molecular studies and fossil evidence suggest that they are closely related to modern birds of prey, such as falcons and eagles. The fossil record of terror birds is primarily found in South America, where they flourished for millions of years. Fossils of Forus racids have been discovered in countries like Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and Uruguay. Some of the most well-known and complete specimens of terror birds have been found in the fossil-rich deposits of the Patagonia region of Argentina. Terror birds played a significant role in the evolution of avian predators during the Cenozoic era. As apex predators, they occupied the top of the food chain in South America for millions of years, shaping the ecosystems in which they lived. The rise of terror birds coincided with the isolation of South America from other continents during the early Cenozoic era, leading to the evolution of unique fauna and flora known as the Great American Biotic Interchange. The extinction of terror birds during the late Pleistocene epoch marked the end of an evolutionary lineage that had persisted for millions of years. Their disappearance may have been influenced by environmental changes, competition with other large predators, and the arrival of humans in South America. Let's also talk more about their diet, hunting strategies, and their competition with other predators. Terror birds were carnivorous predators, feeding primarily on a variety of vertebrate prey, including mammals, reptiles, and smaller birds. Their diet likely varied depending on factors such as habitat, prey availability, and the size and species of the terror bird. Terror birds were agile and fast runners, relying on their speed and strength to pursue and capture prey. They likely employed a combination of hunting strategies, including ambush predation and pursuit predation. Some species may have used their large beaks to strike and kill prey, while others may have employed tactics such as grappling or using their sheer size to overpower their victims. As apex predators, terror birds occupied the top of the food chain in ancient South American ecosystems, exerting significant influence on prey populations and community dynamics. They likely competed with other large predators, such as saber-toothed cats, giant ground sloths, giant jaguars, and large predatory mammals, for food and resources. Conversely, smaller predators and scavengers may have avoided confrontations with terror birds, as they would have been formidable adversaries. Now that we've discussed some general facts about the terror bird, the question arises, what if it existed today? To answer this question, however, we first have to brainstorm about where the terror bird would live and how it would pose a threat to humans. If terror birds were to exist today, their distribution would likely be influenced by factors such as habitat availability, climate suitability, and the presence of prey species. Given their historical presence in South America, it's plausible that they would continue to inhabit regions with similar environmental characteristics. Potential regions besides South America where terror birds might thrive today could include Australia, Africa, and some parts of North America. Certain regions of Africa, particularly those with extensive savannas and grasslands, might offer suitable habitats for terror birds. Areas such as the Serengeti Plains or the Kalahari Desert could provide ample opportunities for hunting and nesting. Regarding North America, areas with expansive grasslands or forests, such as the Great Plains or parts of the Pacific Northwest, might be potential habitats for these predators. If terror birds were alive today, they would likely pose a significant danger to humans due to their large size, powerful beaks, and predatory nature. If they perceived humans as potential prey or threats, they could attack with their sharp beaks and powerful legs. Encounters with terror birds would mostly result in serious injury or even death. Like many birds, terror birds would likely be territorial during the breeding season and could aggressively defend their nesting sites against perceived threats. Encounters with humans near nesting areas could provoke defensive behavior from these large birds. Given their potential size and habitat preferences, terror birds could inhabit areas frequented by humans, such as grasslands, forests, or even urban environments. Accidental encounters with these powerful predators could occur, especially in areas where humans and wildlife overlap. So if you should get into a conflict with a terror bird, what helps? Probably nothing. If you try to run away, their predatory instinct will kick in and it will start chasing you.
Terror birds are also significantly faster than humans, reaching speeds of up to 48 kilometers per hour. So you can forget about escaping. Physically, you have no chance either. In my opinion, the only way to survive this conflict would be to slowly back away from the area without turning your back on the bird. Maintaining eye contact can help convey to the bird that you are not a threat or prey. But the best thing is still to just pray that these cruel creatures will never be brought back to life and will never cross your path. Otherwise, farewell.
We've had tigers, bears, wolves, crocodiles, and even birds. But one animal cannot be missing from such a list: the lion. But not just any lion, but the largest lion that ever lived, the American lion. Across the vast plains of the Serengeti, lions reign as the largest and most dominant hunters on land. These powerful felines can reach nearly twice the height of an average human, and the largest individuals can weigh as much as a fully grown brown bear, the second largest land predator alive today. Beyond their impressive size, lions are also renowned for their grace and intelligence, traits that have helped them command the savannas and grasslands. Just as today's lions are formidable, their ancestors were equally fearsome. But among them all, one species truly stands out. Not only was it larger than modern lions, but it was also the biggest cat to have ever walked the earth, the American lion. The existence of this remarkable cat first came to light in the 1800s when fragments of its skull were discovered in Mississippi. From the start, it was evident that the specimen belonged to a feline, initially thought to represent a new species within the Felis genus, which includes the domestic cat. However, as more American lion fossils were unearthed, paleontologists began to recognize its closer resemblance to larger cats, leading to its reclassification within the Panthera genus, the group that includes today's lion, tiger, jaguar, leopard, and snow leopard. The modern lion in particular played a key role in this shift, as the American lion shared many of its physical traits. The two species were so similar in body shape and features that the American lion was eventually classified as a lion subspecies, earning the scientific name Panthera leo atrox. This new designation also inspired its common name, the American lion, a tribute to both its lineage and its North American habitat. However, much like the case of the direwolf, research has revealed that the American lion was, in fact, not a true lion. Despite the many similarities, the two cats differ too greatly to be classified as the same species. These distinctions include the American lion's more robust build, lack of a developed mane, proportionally longer legs, and a uniquely shaped skull. While still part of the Panthera genus, it was reclassified as Panthera atrox, meaning the cruel panther, a name that reflects its formidable size and arsenal of predatory adaptations. The studies that clarified its unique nature also sparked debate about its closest relatives. Some suggested that the tiger or jaguar might be a closer match. However, DNA analysis later confirmed that the lion remains its closest living relative. DNA analysis indicates that the American lion likely evolved from an early population of cave lions that became isolated south of the North American continental ice sheet around 340,000 years ago during the Pleistocene. The study also suggests that the last common ancestor of the American lion and the modern lion lived between 500,000 and 1.9 million years ago. Over time, the American lion not only evolved into its own distinct species, but also grew to an immense size. Paleontologists estimate that an average adult American lion was about 25% larger than an African lion. Some individuals reached even greater proportions, as the species exhibited significant sexual dimorphism and size variability. Larger males typically weighed between 350 and 420 kilograms, placing them far beyond any living feline and making them contenders for the title of largest cat ever. Only the Smilodon and Panthera fossilis are considered close rivals in size, with Smilodon holding a slight edge at a maximum weight of 470 kilograms, larger than the average adult polar bear. Yet, new fossil evidence uncovered in 2012 revealed that exceptionally large American lions could surpass even these giants, with estimates suggesting these individuals weighed up to 520 kilograms. At this size, they would have outweighed 8 adult humans, solidifying their status as the largest felines to have ever lived. This massive size, combined with a powerful bone structure and long legs, did not hinder their agility. Conservative estimates suggest they could reach speeds over 48 kilometers per hour, making them among the most fearsome predators of their era. Despite their impressive speed, the American lion is believed to have relied on ambush tactics to capture prey, rather than chasing it over long distances. In these surprise attacks, they likely used their powerful retractable claws and lethal bite to bring down their targets. Evidence supporting this hunting style includes fossils like Blue Babe, a frozen steppe bison discovered with deep claw wounds and bite marks that match those of an American lion. The bite of the American lion was particularly formidable, delivering immense power for a feline. Its massive, robust skull allowed it to drive its 10-centimeter canines deep into prey with a force of 1,800 pounds per square inch, nearly 3 times the strength of a modern lion's bite, and 6 times stronger than that of the Smilodon, whose saber teeth limited its bite force. The incredible power of the American lion is further highlighted by one especially unlucky victim, a gray wolf that found itself trapped in the lion's powerful jaws near California's La Brea tar pits. Although the wolf somehow managed to escape with its life, it didn't emerge unscathed. The lion's immense bite force had completely severed its right femur, taking a significant portion of its leg. This encounter vividly demonstrates the staggering strength of this massive cat. But the American lion wasn't just a powerhouse, it also appears to have been quite intelligent. Its large brain case suggests a level of intellect, as does the fact that many living species within the Panthera genus are known for their intelligence. Additional clues to its smarts come from the ancient tar traps scattered throughout the United States. During the Pleistocene, countless herbivores fell victim to these tar pits, which subsequently attracted predators. Interestingly, although the American lion was one of the most prevalent carnivores of its time, its remains are rarely found in these pits. In contrast, large numbers of its competitors, like the dire wolf and Smilodon, are commonly discovered there. This suggests that the American lion may have possessed heightened intelligence, allowing it to avoid these deadly traps more effectively than its rivals. In addition to its intelligence, the American lion likely shared several other advantageous traits with its modern relatives, including exceptional vision, smell, and hearing. Paleontologists believe its hearing was acute enough to detect sounds from over 1.5 kilometers away. Its sense of smell may have been even more impressive, with some suggesting it could pick up the scent of prey located several kilometers away. Armed with these impressive traits and its massive size, the American lion was a formidable predator capable of taking down a wide range of prey, including deer, horses, camels, tapirs, peccaries, rodents, and steppe bison. The steppe bison in particular appears to have been a favorite, as multiple specimens show evidence of American lion attacks. This predator may have even targeted the giant Columbian mammoth that roamed alongside it. While it's uncertain if it could bring down adult mammoths, this capability would likely depend on whether the American lion hunted in prides. Currently, there is no conclusive evidence to confirm pride behavior, with some paleontologists suggesting its large size hints at a solitary lifestyle, while others argue that its closest living relative's pride-based structure might indicate similar behavior. If the American lion did hunt in prides, it would have had a reasonable chance at taking down mature mammoths. However, even as a solitary hunter, it may still have posed a significant threat to young mammoths. Research indicates that while very young mammoths were well protected by their herds, they reached a stage where they began to venture away from their mothers to forage, but remained small enough to be vulnerable to American lions. This period, thought to span from around 2 to 9 years of age, provided a key hunting opportunity, as mammoths at the upper end of this age range could weigh up to 2 tons. The American lion's focus on hunting younger megafauna extended to other large herbivores, such as the American mastodon. Paleontologists believe that it, along with other top predators like wolves, dire wolves, and saber-toothed cats, posed a significant threat to these young populations. Together, these predators are thought to have contributed to as much as 20% of all deaths among juvenile megafauna. The American lion's success as a hunter is evident not only in its diverse diet, but also in its extensive range, spanning most of the United States and parts of Canada and Mexico throughout the Middle and Late Pleistocene, with fossils dating back 340,000 years. Within this range, it favored open plains and savannas, avoiding the dense boreal forests of eastern Canada and the northeastern United States. Some of these plains and savannas experienced harsh, cold weather, particularly during the last glacial maximum, between 20,000 and 26,000 years ago. To endure these conditions, the American lion likely sought shelter in caves and may have lined its den with grass and leaves, a behavior observed in the Siberian tiger today. Remarkably well-preserved specimens reveal that this feline had a dual-layered coat, an outer layer of protective guard hairs and a dense undercoat. This combination provided added insulation against the cold and likely gave the American lion a reddish hue. Although the American lion's environment was often cold, its habitat was rich with life. It coexisted with many iconic Ice Age animals, including not only its primary prey and competitors, but also Homotherium, cougars, coyotes, black bears, short-faced bears, jaguars, pronghorns, wood bison, long-horned bison, bighorn sheep, stag moose, giant beavers, ground sloths, and glyptodonts. Since the American lion roamed the land as recently as 20,000 years ago, it coexisted with humans, who may have been one of its primary threats. This idea is supported by the discovery of American lion bones in trash heaps near Paleolithic human settlements. Some researchers speculate that human activity may have played a role in the American lion's eventual extinction. The exact timing of the American lion's extinction remains uncertain, though the youngest fossils are currently dated to around 12,800 years ago. This date aligns with a quaternary extinction event that wiped out much of the megafauna of that era. Just as the exact timing is unknown, the precise cause of this extinction event is also unclear. However, in recent years, 2 leading theories have emerged: human overhunting and climate change, which may have worked together as a powerful double impact on megafauna, potentially contributing to the demise of the largest cat of all time, the American lion. And there you have it, the most fearsome rulers of a world that time has buried beneath layers of history. These creatures, so powerful and terrifying, shaped the earth in ways we can only begin to imagine. As we look back on their reign, we're reminded of just how small we are in the grand story of life on this planet. The world has changed, but echoes of their power still linger in fossils, in myths, and in the landscapes they once dominated. Though they may be gone, their legacy endures, reminding us of a time when survival meant teeth, claws, and cunning beyond our comprehension. If these ancient predators have sparked your imagination or made you grateful for the comforts of our modern world, be sure to subscribe and join us for more journeys into the past, because while time may hide their bones, it can't bury their stories.